All right, y'all. So this is the demo reel that got me into the AAA gaming industry. My first gig in the gaming industry. We're going to jump right to it. I'm going to play it for the first time. Just let it go through. And then we're going to do commentary over these pieces and things as for the second and third playthrough and so on. So here is my demo reel that got me in AAA, y'all. All right. So yes, that was the demo reel that got me into AAA, man. And yo, it was quite the journey getting these pieces together. Some of them, I look at them, it's old work. So I look at them and I'm like, man, I could see where some things needed to be tweaked, in terms of quality, but clearly they saw something in me with some of these pieces, or the reel as a whole, where they were like, yeah, we can definitely use this guy on our team. So and there's some other things that I'll explain at the end of the video, or that it's not only about the work or portfolio that you turn in, but there's other factors. So yeah, y'all, this right here, man, I spent endless nights. I was working in New York as a web developer, which I was supposed to be doing animation for this company, but they had so much like backlog of work, or there was so much work that needed to be done, that we got overloaded with web development work, and I didn't get to do animation for it. But anyway, man, I would come home, I would hop on the train. I worked in New York City, and right in the heart of the city, Manhattan. I would hop on that one train. I would get on the Staten Island ferry from the one train. Then I would get on the bus, go home, eat, shower, chill for a little bit, and then I would work on this demo reel. Like, that's all I did. Work on it till like freaking 2 3 a.m. and then go to sleep, wake up at like 7:30, 8, mad groggy, and do the whole process over again. Get back on the bus, get on the Staten Island ferry, get on the one train, and then freaking get to work and be there by 9 a.m., 9 to 5. So yeah, y'all, this right here, this work. So this particular piece right here, I spent the most time. And usually on the demo reel, you want to put your best piece first. So I was like, all right, man, this is my best piece. Like, on this whole thing, I thought to myself, I was like, this has to catch your eye. That, like, look, I can do action stuff, because that was my specialty, action. And that was, that's what I love. It's still what I love to this day, doing action animations. So I was like, all right, man, I'm going to do a 5-hit combo. Like something you would see in a Devil May Cry game, or something you would see in like Tales of Symphonia or something, right? I was like, this is what I'm going to put as my first piece. So yeah, for that piece, y'all, let's rewind it frame by frame. So this piece, I was like, all right, man, he's gonna do like a wop wop. And in animation, you think about the timing, right? You think about the timing with how hits are gonna happen. So I was like, he's gonna be like wop wop, slam, bam, wop. And that was like the timing I was thinking for. So he's like, bop, bop, slam, bam, whoop. And so I was like, yeah. After doing that, after doing the reference and recording my reference, getting up thousands of times from my seat to actually do these movements to see how my body was moving and everything, like, I was like, all right, got it. And Fun fact was that this piece was when I actually started putting my work into 60 frames per second instead of 30 frames per second. And I was like, wow, man, this is so much smoother. When I was in college, just about everything I did was in 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second. And so, after getting the animation and everything in, I added all the swoops, the slashes, the after image, which is a cool trick. You pretty much just copy the rig and then you give it a material with an opacity that's light. And, you do that 2 or 3 more times. And that's how I got this effect. And then, this little thing right here is just to like, what do we call it in animation? This is just a character appeal. That right there. So it's like boom, 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 combos finished. All right. And then this right here is like, all right, showcasing to them that I can do what's called in the industry locomotions, run cycles, flying animations, stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, so let me show them I could do, a couple different running cycles. So I put that in there. The same character. And just looking at this, I probably looking back, like the weight of his swords could have been a little heavier, but. And then here I was like, all right, now I'm gonna show them that I can do spells. Like I can do like a wizard or something like that. Because the game that I was working on, which was Lord of the Rings Online, the game that I was working on, there was stuff like this in there. And usually when you make a demo reel in the industry, you usually want to have stuff catered, at least half of your demo reel, if not all of it, catered towards whatever work that you're going to be doing in the gig, right? So I was like, all right, let me show them I could do spells and stuff like that. So I did this right here. This piece, I'm remembering, this piece, y'all, was right after I graduated, and I got to that point where I was like, all right, man, I got all this student work, and I pretty much scrapped all the student work. Everything that was in my demo reel from college, I threw it away. I was like, all right, let me pretty much start from a new slate and make work that looks like professional quality work that you would see in a game. And so this was the first piece, y'all, that I started doing that right here. I remember I flew out to California to go to GDC. And while I was attending GDC, when I would leave from GDC, I would work on this piece like at late at night, and then get up the next day to go to the next, GDC day or whatever. But Game Developers Conference, for some of you who don't know. So yeah, this was that piece. This right here, I think this is actually, guys, let me correct myself. This was the one piece I kept from college. This piece right here. So my mistake. This is the only piece I kept from my college reel. Because I was like, I don't think I did a horrible job on this. And it's a death animation, so it's to show them that I can do 4-legged creatures, quadrupeds, and it's to show them I could do a death animation. So did this, and I did all the effects for all of this stuff, by the way. So I was like, yeah, I was like, I think I sold the weight and everything on like him slamming the ground. And so this piece was a little bit after the wizard piece. So here's where I was like, all right, man, I'm about to start really trying to push like cinematic stuff, right? But also along the lines is action, like specialty stuff that I love, like Marvel vs. Capcom. And at the time I was playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I was like, yo, what if Nero was in Marvel vs. Capcom? What would his level 3 special be, right? What would his level 3 super be? So I was like, I acted it out or whatever, and I thought it out in my head, and I was like, all right, this is going to be Nero's level 3 special for Marvel vs. Capcom 3 if he was in the game. So So, Nero got the arm. He got the arm. So I was like, all right, he's going to throw the arm, right? And in Marvel's Capcom, you got to think about like, okay, if they block it. So I was like, this arm, I was like, this arm, if it gets blocked, then it wouldn't work, right? So I thought about all of that stuff. I was like, all right, if they block, if the player blocks this, then it wouldn't work. But when they don't block it, it works. It grabs them in, slash. Now there's so many things wrong with this piece. I could tell you right now, like going from this pose, like it's kind of like I just blocked. It's kind of like some of this was just blocked poses. And I just went from, I didn't do too much polish. Another thing wrong with this one is that and this is a guy from Riot Games. When I went to GDC, a guy from Riot Games, I showed him my demo reel. And he basically told me, he was like, yeah, man. He was like, yo, this stuff is looking good. Nero's looking good. He said, but the guy that's getting hit, he doesn't look good. And he said, usually what sells the combo or the hits is the character that's getting tore up. And I said, oh man, like I purposely didn't animate the dude, this model from Left 4 Dead or whatever. Like I purposely didn't animate him that much. I was all focused on Nero. And so I thought about that and I was like, wow, he's right. And but anyway, that was another thing that was wrong with this piece. But I really like the idea. And I think that's what they saw when they looked at this piece. And one of the guys, when I got into the studio, he told me, he was like, look, man, he was like, a lot of the people that's work we've seen, we could kind of tell that it was like a lot of hand holding in their work, or like that it wasn't all the way them, right? For example, one of the schools, I won't name the school, I ain't trying to disrespect the school or whatever, but one of the schools, online schools, this is what he said that they do. And they actually had a lot of people from that school come into the job, and then they had to like kind of show them certain stuff, right? So he told me, he was like, when we looked at your reel, we could tell that this just came all from you. Like you thought about these concepts, and that you were creative around it. And they said that this was one of the things that we liked about your work. So I was like, wow, all right, bet. So yeah, I was like, all right, Nero. I was like, all right, Nero, he's going, here's how I thought it is. I was like, all right, grab. He grabs him. Nero's like, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Boom. Knocks him in the air. Pop, pop, pop. Shooting with a gun. Or with his gun. Boom. His sword turns on fire because, Nero has that rev thing with his sword. And then the final hit would be like just that huge demon fist from his devil form, his devil trigger. And see, even right there, you see the heavy thing, or this, I forget what this zombie's called from that game. But right here, like he should have got tore up. He just kind of flat. He just kind of goes flat, Like he just kind of like, yeah, let's play it. Yeah, like that wasn't a good impact for him. But like I said, I put a lot of the focus into Nero. So yeah, y'all. This right here, this was the demo reel that got me into my first AAA gig in the gaming industry. And one more important thing that I want to say is that the work wasn't only what got me in. And I'm probably going to do another video on this, but the work wasn't only what got me in. It was that I got to meet a lot of the art directors and things. And it was my personality, and this is not gassing me up or anything like that, but like a lot of the times, and this is what I was told, right? When you get into the studio, they said a lot of times you'll have somebody's work that's really good. They get in the studio and they're a complete a-hole. They don't want any critique around their work. They're not open to, like feedback, and they're very closed off to themselves. Just kind of Like, look, man, just shut up, let me do my work and get out of here. But, you know, and that may work for some studios, but not every studio is looking for that type of attitude. Some studio may looking for someone who, you know, can bring some positivity into the environment when things are looking ugly, you know? So that was one of the things that, you know, in conjunction with my work, like that was one of the things that got, you know, that got me the gig. So anyway, yeah, y'all, to conclude, that is the demo reel that got me into AAA. Make sure you hit that like button if you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. I'll catch y'all later. Peace and blessings. I'm out.